46 million tons of nuclear explosives. That's how much humanity has detonated in the last 80 years. Picture a blast so bright, it's visible from 600 miles away, and a shockwave circling the Earth 3 times. This isn't science fiction. This was real. The largest nuclear explosion in history, the Soviet Tsar Bomba. But what if a weapon like that were used today? And why hasn't the world seen another nuclear war, even after thousands of tests? In 1945, the US dropped atomic bombs on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. It was meant to intimidate the Soviet Union. But the US had almost no nuclear fuel left. Their plan to bomb Soviet cities? Basically a bluff. The USSR didn't know that and rushed to build its own nuclear weapons. That's how the nuclear arms race began. 1961, Novaya Zemlya, Soviet Arctic. The Soviet Union detonated the Tsar Bomba, a bomb 3,000 times more powerful than the one dropped on Hiroshima. One explosion could erase a city like Tokyo, London, or Paris in a fraction of a second. The detonation happened at cruising altitude, where today's passenger jets fly. The mushroom cloud rose 42 miles into the sky, higher than most satellites and 8 times taller than Mount Everest. The shockwave went around the Earth 3 times. Windows shattered 560 miles away, like from New York to Detroit. Everything within 35 miles just gone. This weapon was beyond imagination. If the Tsar Bomba hit Moscow today, 13 million people would die instantly. New York, Tokyo, London, all could be wiped out along with surrounding regions. So why hasn't that happened? Nuclear weapons are a paradox. Built to destroy everything, they've actually kept the peace between world powers longer than any other tool in history. In 1968, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, NPT, was signed. It recognized 5 official nuclear powers: the US, USSR, Soviet Union, the UK, France, and China. Why just them? Because building a bomb takes huge money, top-tier science, and access to uranium. Interesting fact, the uranium for America's first bombs came from the Congo, mined by hand, often at the cost of African workers' lives. The treaty's goal: stop the spread of nuclear weapons, push for disarmament, and support peaceful nuclear energy. After the USSR collapsed, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, and Belarus gave up their nuclear weapons, one of the biggest acts of goodwill in disarmament history. Today, 191 countries have signed the NPT, making it one of the most widely accepted international treaties ever. But there's a catch. Only countries that tested nuclear weapons before January 1st, 1967, are recognized. Everyone else is seen as a violator, no matter how they developed their bombs. That's why India, Pakistan, Israel, and North Korea are outside the official club. India and Pakistan refuse to sign the treaty, calling it a way to protect nuclear privilege. Israel stays silent, never confirms, never denies, but it's widely believed they have the bomb. North Korea? They pulled out of the treaty and openly started testing, ignoring threats and sanctions. Then there's Iran. It says its nuclear program is peaceful, for power plants only. But technically, going from a nuclear reactor to a nuclear weapon is just a matter of time and uranium enrichment levels. That's why Iran sparks so much debate. Is it about energy or about getting the bomb? The truth is, most countries simply don't have the resources or political will to go nuclear. Those who joined the club did it either during the Cold War or under threat. Every new member adds a whole new layer of global risk. German scientists were the first to split the uranium atom in 1938. But it was the US that built the first bomb. Why? Because in war, it's not about who makes the discovery first, but who can scale it, hide it, and protect it. The Americans used cheap and easy-to-handle graphite in their nuclear reactors. The Germans used heavy water, a special form of water where regular hydrogen is replaced with a heavier isotope called deuterium. That choice cost them dearly. In 1943, saboteurs blew up the only heavy water plant the Nazis had, ending their chances. Today, Russia leads the world in uranium enrichment, and it started in a surprising way. Soviet scientists used old phonograph needles made of nickel molybdenum wire in early experiments. They were strong and the perfect shape. From these improvised materials, engineers built what would become the world's most advanced nuclear tech. Now, Russian facilities produce about 40% of the world's enriched uranium. Nearly half the world's nuclear reactors run on Russian fuel. It's not just about energy, it's also about power. Because the tech used for nuclear energy, it's the same foundation used for nuclear weapons. Nuclear weapons are terrifying and fascinating. They can wipe out humanity, yet they've prevented major wars for nearly 80 years. We're walking a tightrope, and everyone needs to understand just how much is at stake. Gary was right. The channel about personal finance, wealth, and how to level up your life. Hit subscribe so you don't miss videos that don't just inspire you. They help shift your mindset and change your reality.